All right, are we ready for this thing?
Why not?
So for those of you that have never been here before,
wait.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, why not?
So apparently tonight is a private show for you on the internet.
The interwebs.
So we'll see what happens.
Because the people here aren't going to pay attention, which is great.
That's not abnormal. Oh, my mom chimed in.
Yeah, we do. That's okay, though.
That's right. I am trying your new Local Bee latte. Mom, Local Bee. It's a honey latte. It's delicious. My mom has a leaky microwave. She sits too close to it.
She's got one of those ones from the 70s that was like big.
Yeah, my dad sits a little closer. That's why he's the way he is. So, all right, are we ready?
You know, glowing in the dark is a great.
Welcome to Live at the Blue Box. Oh, are we ready here? You sure? Is that camera on? Is Meerkat on? All right. Jacob, are you on? You're always on.
He's not the best color guy in the business for nothing.
That's right. I'm going to make you permanent co-host.
You're going to make him what?
Permanent co-host.
Off
screen? Are you listening to us? Excellent.
He's off-screen co-host.
Right.
It's awesome.
Welcome to Live at the Blue Box. It's now time for This Week in Geek. It's May 28th, 2016. We have the full crew up here. And
or the full of it crew.
Yeah,
not the full crew.
The Humanalil is at a wedding tonight, so the little puppet has stepped in. He is very excited for Independence Day. There is some news about that he'll be talking about later. So let's introduce ourselves. Yeah. Let's go on that end. Geeks a Go-Go right there.
Geeks a Go-Go. My name is Chris Mao. I am co-owner of Blue Box Cafe and co-host of this and many other fine shows on the Southgate Media Network.
Yes, you.
My name is Edward Lee, host of This Week in Geek, obviously, and of Geek Duel.
Obviously.
I am Rob Southgate, co-owner of Southgate Media Group, co-host of the Nuff Said podcast, if you can't tell by my Avengers shirt. And you know what? We should also get
What is this
media.
Marvel thing you speak of?
That's right. Oh, I've always got a lot to say on that. I've got stuff to talk about with that this week, too.
There is stuff.
So let's give some social media. You can find me at our Southgate. I also have a show called New Media Lab. So if you're into this new media stuff, Periscope, Meerkat, podcasting, all of it, social media, I talk about it on that show, and I have co-hosts that I have in and guests, and it's really cool. This week, I have Taryn from Patreon
nice.
on,
awesome.
And we unravel some of this Patreon stuff. Here's the crazy thing. I did it maybe a month ago. I recorded. We put up our Patreon pages. We have had very little activity. But in the last week, I've spent some time analyzing, and I think I've cracked some of the code. And I don't talk about it on that show. But the stuff she says actually is that. Mm-hmm. If you pay attention to what she said, it really is informative. And then I'm going to do a little sub show where I talk about our experience with Patreon, and it's going to fill people in. So those of you that are thinking about doing Patreon, don't miss New Media Lab. You don't have social media.
I do not.
He does not.
He's the one teenager without it.
The internet? What is that?
He's anti-social media.
I don't know. I use Internet Explorer. It's very fast for my age.
Explorer. I use this TRS-80 thing.
I'm dialing up.
It's get off the phone.
Mom, get off the phone. And you, down on the end, what's your social
I'm
media?
in a chat room. Yeah, we can be found at on everything is either under Blue Box Cafe or Blue Box Cafe 176 on all the major things.
So write to us. Oh, and we have a Twitter for this.
We do.
We have a couple of things for this that we never talk about. We have a Twitter, which is SMG_TWIG. Is that what it is, or is it TWIG_SMG? Doesn't matter. It's SMG_TWIG. That's our Twitter. We have a Facebook page now.
Yes, we do.
For This Week in Geek, which is really been fun.
It has been.
And then we don't have an Instagram, but we have a Tumblr, which we've done nothing with, but expect lots to start happening.
Yes.
There you go.
We're good.
And Edward will be manning the nothing. He's manning the chat room on AOL. So
nice. Ooh, MySpace. You got the MySpace.
Edward's in charge of MySpace. Well done, Jacob. See, he is the best color man in the business.
He is the best color man in the business.
So let's talk about geek news. I'm ready.
Yes.
You know what? There's not that much to talk about, but I got a lot to say.
And we'll still fill an hour.
Yes,
so it's amazing how we do that.
Yeah, no matter what.
So get ready. Who wants to start?
I can start. So
don't start with that one.
The top one?
Don't start with that one.
That's
we'll fall into a rabbit hole, and that'll be the end of the show.
Okay.
Can we say it's marvelous? No, sorry. Go ahead.
Marvelous news.
Margot Robbie is starring in Terminal, which is a thriller movie about what is it? It's a thriller movie about an apartment, and across the street is two people who are trying to kill someone.
So it's kind of like Rear Window.
Yeah. And
you ever seen Rear Window?
No.
You are missing out. Rear Window is amazing.
Yes.
Listen,
what?
A 9-year-old is calling you out.
Okay.
It's a Hitchcock movie. It's fantastic. And they see they look through the window and they witness a murder.
That's where he's laid up, right, with the broken leg. Yeah.
Yes. That's a great
it is
movie.
a great
so
movie.
This is kind of the same idea. Go ahead.
Simon Pegg is now joining the movie,
Ooh,
and Mike
excellent.
Myers.
Oh, and Mike Myers.
Ooh, I married an axe murderer.
So.
It'll be great. That's actually a really good movie, by the way.
It is.
It's really good.
I like Mike Myers, although The Love Guru was hot garbage. But I do like
cashing a big check. That's all I have to say.
You know what? Did I ever tell you I met him?
No.
So back when he was at Second City, before Saturday Night Live, I was in the improv scene, and I was hanging around Second City and everything, and we went to see a show.
Bill, you guys are awesome. Can I help?
Well, we went to see a show, and he was in it, and I didn't know who this guy was or anything. And generally, no barbs to be thrown at Second City, but I actually didn't think it was that funny. Like, I knew people in it. I was like,
that happens. So that happens when you do that, yeah.
But he was so funny. I to this day say he is the funniest person I ever saw on stage. With maybe Dave Pasquazi being a close second, who was in the same
Pasquazi's he's funny.
Funny. How he's not huge, I don't know. But you know what? We'll put him on Southgate Media. He'll do that.
Right.
He comes cheap. Anyway, Myers was so funny. And I was putting together an improv group at the time. And we're out front. He's standing out front. And just to give you an idea of how short he is, at Second City, they have the 2 steps going up in. Mm-hmm. He was standing on the top. I was standing on the ground. I was still taller than him. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So after I talked to the mayor of Munchkin City, I had permission to talk to him. And
follow the. Sorry,
we were talking. I was telling him, I'm like, oh, I'm trying to do this. I go, you've got this. I'm sure you're not interested. He goes, no, I'd be down for doing. He said, I like to be in everything. So I'd be down with that. I was like, holy cow. Like a week later,
you got to call up to the big game.
I call him because I'm trying to put something, and I was like, hey man, I had your number. We've got a date at this one thing, and he goes, I auditioned for Saturday Night Live and I got it. That was it. I've never talked to him again. I'm like, son of a. So that was my Mike Myers story.
6 months too late, you could have been in.
And I'm telling you, man, he was on stage the funniest person I've ever seen. I didn't find him particularly funny on Saturday Night Live. I thought he was funny, but I didn't find him nearly as good. But I love him in the movie.
Well, the problem with Saturday Night Live is they don't write their own stuff. They have people.
Well, he did.
He did some of it. I mean, like Wayne's World is unbelievable.
Right.
I mean, if you talk about iconic, running sketches on Saturday Night Live, that might be the ultimate. If not,
that was a great.
If not the Belushi Aykroyd stuff they did.
If you think about the stuff he did, like his main character stuff, it was all very funny. But I wasn't as huge a fan. You know who Mike Myers is, right?
No.
Austin Powers?
Or Wayne's World?
I've not seen Austin Powers.
But you know what Austin Powers is, right?
No. You know my parents.
Your dad is Austin Powers.
He is.
Yeah, Ruth.
Yeah, Ruth. Shagadelic.
Your dad and Austin Powers are one and the same.
I thought he was James
Bond. Have the velvet suit.
No, well,
I don't know.
He's a comedian from the 80s and 90s. Would you say 90s? Where
90s.
He's funny. He and Dana Carvey really.
Yeah.
They have a little show called Wayne's World.
So he's in it with Simon Pegg Simon Pegg's so excellent,
Yeah.
and Mike Myers is excellent. He kind of disappeared off the radar, but I would cast that.
He
guy
was great in
anything.
Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, he was.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, well,
The whole-
everybody was.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Christopher Waltz was just unbelievable.
So did they have a trailer or anything, or was
No,
it
it
just?
was just casting news.
Nice.
I really like Simon Pegg, so
And
I wanted to
Margot
say it.
Robbie she's always good.
Yeah,
you know?
she's really good.
in
Yeah,
the
she's
movie
really good.
in the movie she is like a barista.
Okay.
So
She worked at the
That's-
Blue Box.
That's
So
that's likely not.
Yeah, she looks exactly like the baristas here. Did you hear those
Opposite.
crickets,
Yes.
Nathan?
They're not-
We
Yeah,
were
we're
saying,
saying-
you look like Margot Robbie. You got to pay attention. Watch it on the YouTube channel.
That's right.
But she
Use your
reminds
phones
me
for something.
of a Charlize Theron, where
Uh,
they are so beautiful, like movie star beautiful, but at the same time, like they can act, and you can
Yes.
tell, like Charlize Theron. If you saw Monster,
oh yeah, she's.
unbelievable.
How about
Mad Max?
Aeon Flux? She was great.
And Flux, yeah, they have this ability to transform themselves
Right.
and get beyond that movie star look. Whereas a lot of actresses and actors have a hard time doing that.
Sure.
These two seem to, and I kind of place them in the same
Well,
place in my head.
That's got to be our perception of them because they're just so good looking. You look at them and go, they're so good looking. I can't get past that.
Right.
And then they act and you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh
you
my
know?
gosh, yeah, but she really is. So I think this will be great. And Edward, you have homework now. You need to see Rear Window.
okay.
And if you come back and say you don't like it, we are going to stuff you in a garbage can.
We're gonna make you watch all the bad Jimmy Stewart movies. Not many, but there's
Not
some.
many.
But there's a few. There's a few clunkers in there.
So-
Watch Mr. Smith Goes to Washington 10 times and you'll kill yourself.
And you're going to have to see Austin Powers when you're 18.
Yep.
And you'll watch it.
Well,
and go,
he can watch Wayne's World now. And
yeah,
Wayne's
yeah,
World's
but I want
good.
him to see Austin Powers to see his dad. Hello, Ruth.
He could watch the first one. The first one's all covered.
Yeah. Do you think he can watch Austin Powers, Marth? He lives with
Edward.
Austin Powers. Do you think he can watch it?
I mean, I can watch it, but
yeah,
will my
baby.
mom let me watch
Oh
it?
yeah,
No?
it's not that bad. There's no
Uh-oh.
nudity in it. It's
There's
PG.
no nudity in it.
It's PG.
No. I think there's more nudity in this show than there is
So?
in that. Every
That's a
time I
make a
stand up
latte.
and my shirt pulls up.
See, that's the problem is. half
Welcome
of
to
that
This
movie
Week in
my mom
Geek.
doesn't
It's
like.
time for poop and sex
I
jokes.
don't know. My dad hates those jokes, so
Hold on. He's English. What's wrong? How does that happen?
He doesn't hate those jokes.
He
He
hates-
says he hates it.
no.
Yeah, but he loved Rick Mail. Rick Mail
Oh,
was on a
yes.
show called Poop. So there's no way.
Vivian?
Vivian. All right.
Neo? He was Vivian, I know.
So I want to talk about this one. Have you guys seen the trailer for Free State of Jones?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I've seen multiple of the trailers.
Wow.
I said quite a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
about
that it
one
was
of the
great.
trailers. It was amazing.
I watched it. Well, and there was a new one this
Yeah.
week. Oh my gosh, this thing looks unbelievable.
Yeah, it does.
And
When's it coming out?
amazing.
I mean, as much as I want to do the all right.
No,
I love, but he's another one. He
Yeah.
has that movie star good look thing going for a while. Remember, that's how they packaged him. Like everything
yeah.
was McConaughey with his shirt off, and then
Well,
and then he was like,
he
I'm
was
an
the
actor.
rom-com king. He was in every romantic
was.
comedy because, hey, who can we pair with him?
Yeah,
And-
he's like all good looking,
Yeah.
and boys, he transcended. Where holy cow!
Yeah.
Did you see that one where he had AIDS?
no, he didn't have
AIDS.
AIDS. It was the Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
AIDS.
No,
in
he
that.
didn't. That was Jared Leto had AIDS.
He
Oh, no,
had
he
it
did.
too.
You're right, he did.
And he
You're
went
right.
down and he get to Mexico and he
Get
got
the
the
drugs,
drugs,
right.
and he got better. And Jared Leto, that was,
Yeah.
I mean, he was amazing.
Yeah, he won a little thing called
You know who McConaughey is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's coming out in June 24th
what is?
of this year.
Free
Free State
June
of Jones.
24th?
Wow.
June 24th.
Well, it's in they're showing trailers, so they're not going to build that
I'm
up for a year.
I am.
I can't
down
believe because that
with
looks
this.
like one of those Oscar performance types pieces.
Yeah,
And
isn't it weird when they release things like that out of what they consider Oscar season?
Right.
And you go, that's like 3 months too early or 6 months too early.
6 months, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because
That's like a November or October release.
yeah. Although I'm glad they are.
Sure.
I'm always up for some good movies. We did have some like mid-season, like the Twiggies, and we'll do mid-season awards.
Mid-season Oscars.
Yes, no,
We'll call them the
Twiggies.
Isaacs. We'll call them the Isaacs.
The Isaacs. No, those are like the raspberries, from what I hear.
No.
So,
Hello.
Oscar and Isaac, yeah.
That's right.
Oscar Isaacson. All right, you got one? Because I got more.
I do. So, Sense8 is filming right now, which is a show that we have
Yes,
done
we loved
things.
it.
We love the show, but not apparently. I guess Lily Wachowski has been under a lot of stress with coming out and going all that stuff. So
the change,
right, and so she has walked away from the show running of the show. So, but Lana's doing it, and from the way they're spinning is that they're saying that this is mostly Lana's work, not mostly anyway, but she's the biggest driving force.
She's
in
the
show.
driver on it.
She's the driver on it. So this should not affect things. But what did also happen is the guy who played Capus Van Damme, his name was Amal.
Van Damme was awesome.
Yeah, he was awesome. He has had some creative differences with the show in the filming and left in the middle, so they're replacing him with another guy. So
all right.
I guess
Is it Edward?
Nope.
No, you're not. It's a Lil. He's not here.
I want to say, and I'm going to butcher his name.
I love that when they did the Van Damme thing.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was that whole show was fantastic.
Do you think they'll? Well, the way that show is, they could easily kill him and add another person in.
No, they're just swapping.
They're
just going to swap it out. They said that he was already written into this season, and they're literally in the middle of filming. They went from Italy to someplace else. They're going to bring another actor in to get that part.
Bring in Idris Elba. No one will pay attention. You just be like, oh, Idris is on. You know what?
No, it's a guy named Toby Anwamari. I think I can't pronounce it. I didn't see the picture. I recognize the name. I think it's another guy.
What's he from?
I don't know. So I can't.
Edward's on the internet.
What's your mom doing? She's not paying attention.
No, not paying
Alive
attention.
or dead? Alive.
Yeah, right. Well, internet, you could tell us who is that? Toby
Anumeri.
Anumeri, right? ONWOMERA.
ONWUM.
Yeah.
Let me see him.
I
just want to see what he looks like. Yeah. I recognize that guy.
Sense8, The Book of Dallas.
Oh, you know what? That guy. Now that I saw him take the beard off, you could totally swap them out and make it so that
he's only been in Sense8 and The Book of Dallas.
So we know his name from somewhere, but who knows? I mean, who knows?
It sounds familiar, but
he take the beard off and he looks a lot like that guy.
And I don't even care the looks. I mean, just his passion was pretty unbelievable. And
the Van Damme thing.
Yeah. That whole dynamic was amazing. But I mean, that could be good news, could be rough news. But if Lana's the driving force, I love that show. So
I did too. I think we're fine. Here's one I want to bring up to you guys. I think this is really interesting. I got two in a row here I want to bring up. First of all, Get Shorty. Did you read this?
I've read it.
Do you know the movie? Okay, there's a movie, Get Shorty. You probably don't remember it. John Travolta was in it. Danny DeVito was in it. It was actually a really good movie.
It's a great book.
So it's based on an Elmore and Leonard book.
Right.
Then they did a sequel. It was all right. I didn't love it.
It was okay.
I think they took, for the sequel, they took the wrong elements to go forward.
I absolutely agree with that. And the book is way better than the movie, too.
It is getting made into a TV show, as everything seems to be. Okay? I wish this was.
Right.
And although technically, I guess we are,
Audio
right?
is not working.
What is not working?
Audio.
On this?
Yep.
Oh, no. Did you not hear us?
Someone just said audio is not working.
Check.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Tell me, can you hear? Oh, no audio. Hold on. Hey, guys. We got no audio on this. Can you check and see if that mic is on?
Did we plug this mic in over here?
Check. Still nothing. We're working on it.
It's set for on it, he said.
No, you won't do that. It is set to on? Okay. And it still says no. How about if I do that? Can you hear us now?
Is there a delay on this one?
Joined. That's it. All right. Audio is not going to be as good. We had it connected to an iRig, and I unplugged it. So sorry, guys, but we will keep it this way. And don't get sick. I'm turning the volume up a little bit.
Oh, no.
You guys have missed the most brilliant show we've ever done. Who said, how are you?
Yep.
I want to sit here and talk to you guys the whole time.
Editing.
Again, not hard to do.
Yeah. Well, I need a device up here so I can do it, but then I'll have so much ADD It's
You'll
unbelievable.
be just pressing buttons, so we got to give it to a low.
Guys, we're going to figure out a way to have people live talking to you while we're doing our show, because that's something we really are missing. So let's get back to it. So anyway, they're doing Get Shorty as a live action show.
Show, right.
Here's what's interesting. Now, from what I understand, they're going to go back to the Elmore Leonard source material. That's the way to do it.
Right.
Start it there. Don't even do it as a remake. I mean, they might. That's the trend, is you take the first season and you pretty much remake it.
Right.
Maybe do that, but you can expand and forget that second movie, expand from there and get the Elmore Leonard feel to it, because the book is great.
Yeah. Well, the movie Get Shorty was very book heavy.
Yeah,
it was very book heavy.
The second one that is.
Right.
The second one is where it misses the mark. But here's what's interesting. Did you read obviously, if I'm the only one that read this, Epix is the one that's putting it on.
Okay.
So Epix does have, that's a channel, it's one of these cable channels. They do have a few things, and I have watched stuff on there that I found interesting. Not great. It's kind of a second, third tier type thing. But the fact that they're doing Get Shorty, that to me says, hey, they spent a little money to get an Elmore Leonard property.
Right.
I hope they're a new player. I'll take it. I'll let every one of these have more things. It's the golden age of television, man. It's the platinum age of television.
Absolutely.
I will take it. Now, the reason I wanted to bring up two things, this is the one I found even more interesting. I read that and I was like, Epix, huh? Interesting. Do you know the book Mr. Mercedes? It's a Stephen King book.
Yes. Okay. Now.
Okay. Ed is going to series. It's a 10-episode run. That's all they're committing to. David E. Kelly was the one hired to showrun, to bring it to series. David E. Kelly knows what he's doing, okay?
Yeah.
This could be...
He's had a few hits, a couple.
Here's what gets interesting. And the cast. Brandon Gleeson is cast as the main guy with Anton Yelland.
Oh, yeah.
Two good actors.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Brandon Gleeson is awesome.
Yeah.
All right?
Brandon or Brendan?
Brendan. What am I saying?
You said Brandon, yeah.
We have a Brandon that works for us. So Brendan Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson.
These two, excellent, right? Brandon's excellent too. Let's talk about him for a minute. This is where it gets interesting. Can you guess what network it's going to? Guess what channel?
Who knows?
Epix.
No.
CW.
Okay, you're not going to guess it at all.
I saw that was there.
AT&T Audience Network. So now, just like Comcast is starting to have original programming that's Comcast only, AT&T is doing this series, and what it said is it will be only available on AT&T and DirecTV. Interesting.
Do we get the cool commercials?
Here's the problem with that type of thing. If you're the provider that way, nobody is going to have Comcast and switch to AT&T or get both to get this content.
They'll sell it. They'll sell it per episode.
They're going to have to,
which is like what everybody's going to do. So they're going to do the
great with that.
Yeah.
I just had this weird feeling when I read it. It's like you've got all these pieces in place, and it reminds me of Community on Yahoo. Right. Yahoo had like 3 shows. I liked them all that I saw, and Community was great on Yahoo.
Right.
And Yahoo shut the doors after three titles, 1 season, because it's like, what are we doing?
Number one, AT&T's got a ton of money, and they've got, if they're going to commit to it, they're going to try. But even like, look at the BBC is having trouble getting their stuff in player form,
right?
Which they've got more money than pretty much anybody,
right? So it's interesting. I just found it interesting that 2 big TV shows this week, Epix and AT&T. Very strange.
But then you're talking about stations and channels. Here in Chicago, WGN has stopped its affiliation with the CW.
With CW.
Which, I mean, that was their biggest audience was here in Chicago. Now it's going to WPWR.
Which is weird.
Very weird.
But the CW across the country is still the CW. It's just
wasn't this their flagship? I think.
I don't know. I thought it was, but WGN also produced Salem. That was not a CW show. That was a WGN show.
Uh-huh.
So I wonder if WGN is separating and is going to start doing its own production.
It probably
but because of this reason.
But there was nothing at the upfronts that said this. So to me, I'm like, so are we going to have a season of like Ray Rayner reruns or something?
Well, no, they're gonna have stuff, but they do mostly news and they do whatever. There's got to be tons of other shows out there that people want to get out, so maybe they'll form their own network.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe rather than doing CW, they're going to do like the way maybe they're going to pick up those secondary like Netflix shows and things.
Right.
After they've had their exclusive run on Netflix, they show Frankie and Johnny or whatever it's called, Grace and Frankie.
Grace and Frankie,
You know?
which is a good
Because
show. Yeah.
Isn't that's what Fox did with like Larry Sanders and that?
Right.
They waited until a certain amount of time, and then they were allowed to show it on there. You had to pay for it if you wanted first run, but 2 years later you could get it that way. So maybe. Am I boring you, Chris?
No. Sorry, it's just been a long day.
Yeah, I know.
But
man.
also the CW made an announcement. There's going to be a 4-show crossover. So they're doing it all. They're throwing Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and Arrow. They're going to throw it. They're going to do like probably a big week. It's going to be awesome.
Well, and Legends of Tomorrow is supposed to have a different cast of characters next season. I like that idea. I think that's cool.
As long as Rory comes back. So
I think he has to. Isn't he kind of the glue of
I think
that
he
team?
is. I think he's the guy.
It's the Hawks are off. The Hawk Man and Hawk Girl, they're off. But I don't know if the others are. Well, we know that Captain Cold is.
Right.
Which means that his brother is too, I'm sure. So I don't know.
Not brother, but his
it's his
partner.
brother on Prison Break. That's how
his brother
once they're related, they're always related. Somehow they're related to Brendan Gleeson too.
That's
so
right.
I have one.
Yeah.
There was a trailer this week for Morgan.
Morgan?
Did you see it?
No, what's Morgan?
It is a very, very weird sci-fi trailer about there's this baby girl that within the first week she was able to crawl, and
it's like Molly.
in a month she was able to walk. No, in like 2 weeks she was able to walk, and in 6 weeks she could be independent.
Wow.
So it's about like this.
Yeah,
one,
they did that on Falling Skies. It was an alien baby. Alien baby.
So it's one girl that's in a bunker, looks like a bunker that's surrounded by glass. At the very end of the trailer, she goes, "It's nice to meet you in flesh." So she definitely has some sort of powers.
Awesome.
It looks like an interesting show. It's very.
It's got a horrible cast.
It's a movie.
So it's got Kate Mara, Paul Giamatti, and Toby Jones.
Oh
so
my God.
That's 3 horrible actors.
Yeah, right.
They're just awful.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Rose Leslie, the girl who played, she was a red-haired at Jon Snow's interest in Game of Thrones.
She's the you know nothing, Jon Snow.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's awesome.
Yeah, so she's in this, so it's going to be horrible.
Excellent. Wow, I didn't know that was out there. It was a trailer?
It was a trailer, yeah.
All right,
it was
man.
very weird. And there's Beauty of the Beast.
Yeah, that trailer. Did you guys watch that?
Yeah.
It's more of a teaser than like a trailer.
Yeah, it's short, but I think it looks cool. I think it looks good. And Emma Watson is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and she's playing Belle in it.
Yeah.
And they only showed her for a second, but as soon as you saw her, you're like, I totally bought she's Belle.
Yeah. They showed her looking into the rose.
The rose, yeah. Yeah, and I liked when they showed the picture, and as it went in, you saw the slash.
Right.
So the beast will be nasty. It's going to be good. I hope it's good. I'm sure it is. These have been good. The only one I'm still nervous about is Dumbo. How the hell are they doing a live-action Dumbo
without Jack Black?
It's not stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't he try that?
Stupid.
Dumbo?
I'm teasing.
Okay, I got a terrible one. Oh, I just showed my hand. Did you guys see the trailer for The Do-Over?
Yeah.
It's Adam Sandler and what's his name? David
Spade.
Okay.
It looks like for me, it looks like a stupid movie that's trying to be funny because it is so like out of there.
Kind of like everything that Adam Sandler does now. So
does now?
We talked
or has
about
ever
it
done?
Ever. We talked about it before. The first trailer, it was like, I can't tell. This might be okay. This trailer is so freaking awful.
They released a Red Band trailer, right?
Yes, and it's awful. Did you guys
bad.
read the review, though?
No, I assume
Okay.
Is it worse?
JoeBlow.com has a review up of it. They do a scale of 1 to 10. What do you guess?
See, you saying this, I'm thinking it's going to be high, so let's say like 6.
What do you guess?
-4.
It is a 1.
A 1?
They don't
I'm
give a
wrong.
0. And when you read the review, it's not like Adam Sandler hate. It's more like, wow, this thing is just terrible.
Sure.
Like there's nothing here. What a surprise. I think the last thing David Spade did was
Joe Dirt 2.
Joe Dirt 2, which was awful.
And I like Joe Dirt 1. I thought it was
Joe Dirt's okay. It's not great, but
it's
the
okay.
second one is terrible. It's these guys either forgot how to make a movie, how to get a script, or I think they just get paid and they're like, hey, let's do a vacation here.
Right.
And we'll shoot a movie and we'll just do a bunch of us being funny.
You're
not funny.
We'll get Chris Rock and
it's not funny.
Kevin James. We'll just do a movie. Yeah,
It's still going
Not funny.
It's still going to make a little money though.
Well, this is making money because it's on Netflix. They've already got the money. He has a
is it due over on Netflix?
Yes,
Yes.
he has a 6-movie deal with Netflix, which it makes so much sense to me. But deliver something good.
right. Well, why?
After 6
He
movies,
doesn't
who's
have
gonna
to.
want to see anything.
He doesn't
does?
have to.
Yeah,
He doesn't
have
care.
to. He has a contract. He's getting
Right.
paid already.
But you know what? He's going to get 6 and done. Whereas if you do something good, you could have the rest of your life being the Netflix
But
guy.
he's fine. He's set. He doesn't need to work. He's made so many.
what?
I know.
But that to me reeks of an integrity problem.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if you have $10 billion. If you are a filmmaker, you make the best film you can. If you're a podcaster, you make the best podcast you can. Whatever your passion is, go for it. And as soon as you're done with it,
Best is relative.
move on. And don't take the cash. You've already got the cash. That's where I have a problem with it. And I think he really thinks this stuff is good. And it's garbage.
he can't. He can't think it's good. But
I think he does.
I think he just gets paid to be himself. And people say, "I want you to be Adam Sandler from Billy, Happy Madison or whatever."
Well, this one he's got his shirt off. He's like supposed to be tough. I'm like, ugh, God.
Was he?
Yeah. No.
I mean, be Opera Man. Opera Man was funny. I didn't care, but
do an Opera Man movie for Chris.
that would be fantastic.
I think
he did one, didn't he? I don't know.
Did he? Oh.
No, he didn't. He should have.
Speaking of terrible things, Molly, sorry to offend, but Garfield is getting made into a CGI film.
Again? Didn't they just do one?
No.
They did 2 with Bill Murray doing the voice of the live action. Now they're going back to that well. A company whose name I've never seen in anything else inked a deal with Jim Davis to do a Garfield movie. And what they said is, we're going to bring Garfield back the way the Peanuts came back. Well,
was the Peanuts good?
Sorry, people, but no, I thought Peanuts was okay. I didn't think it was that strong. It was good for kids.
Go.
But I didn't think it's not something I'd ever watch.
Nothing
again.
going on, yeah.
If this goes in that same vein, okay, you've got a little kiddie movie. I don't know why, though. I don't know why you're going back to that well.
Because Hollywood can't take a chance on a new something because they just
How about
don't.
the Lockhorns? Do them. The kids love the Lockhorns.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm kidding.
I mean, they're rehashing everything to the 10th degree because nobody can pull the trigger on something new.
I mean, there's a trailer for something new, the Space Between Us.
I didn't see this either. What were you on, man?
JoBlo. Everything's on JoBlo. You got to be kidding me.
Nice.
So it is a movie about this kid is born in space. His mother dies, and since he was born in space, his heart was not able to work on Earth. At that time, it's in the future. There was a settlement on Mars.
Okay.
So there was a kid from the age of from when he was born to 16, only living on Mars with only scientists.
Okay.
For 16 years, and it's a movie about him coming. While I was on Mars, he connected with a girl through Earth.
Oh.
So he went over. It's a love story.
They were on Facebook.
Sure, why not? Bad, but why not? It seems like a cool thing. It's definitely a romantic movie, but hey.
It's starring Asa Butterfield, so is it Asa or Asa?
I don't know.
And Gary Oldman and Carla Gugino. Is it Gugino?
I don't. I get
I don't know.
Name wrong.
I know, but you would know.
Gugino, I think. I don't know.
Gugino, yeah, probably.
Let me get one more that you guys don't know. The trailer for The Little Prince.
What do you mean we don't know?
You know
talked about this
you
trailer.
did?
There was a new trailer released this week.
Yeah.
But I talked about this movie before, how much I wanted to see it. It got pulled a week before release. Netflix bought it recently. It's going to get released. Now, is it on Netflix only, or are they going to release it in the theaters? That's the question I had. I heard this trailer for the new trailer is
amazing.
Tearjerker.
Well, it's not tearjerker.
No, I heard it's emotional. Like you watch it, and just like, oh.
I watch them like, hey, this looks cool.
Well, you're heartless, so I'm a
That
teenage boy.
that is actually true.
Well, I don't know. Little Prince looked awesome, and the animation style in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looks
it had
cool.
multiple
This
styles
animation,
going on. It looked fantastic. Yeah, I just don't know if it's going direct to. Maybe somebody here is saying, "No, you just joined." Is Little Prince
Oh wait, it's
going
made
to
in
the
France?
theater,
Yeah.
or is it
Yeah.
going to be on Netflix only? That's our question. Nobody's writing. Look, everyone's on their phones. This is the most exciting show on the internet right now.
Netflix, Paramount Pictures, Warner Brothers Entertainment One.
Doesn't tell you anything.
So that
I
means
assume
yes.
it's yes.
It'll be
It
out
got-
somebody's.
Yeah, it got pulled. So I mean, it may come out in the theaters. It may just be Netflix.
They said it was released in France a year ago,
Okay.
but then it hasn't been released here. So
Oh yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Okay.
It looks good though. It looks interesting. I remember you talked about it.
Yeah.
I've seen that. So
It looks really good. So good trailer this week. We'll have to keep our eyes on it and see when it's actually how it's hitting and where it's hitting. I'm sure we'll update you on this show.
Sure.
All right. Chris,
mark
you got one?
mark my words. Yes, your favorite and mine, Chris O'Dowd,
Yeah.
and
Martha needs some alone time now.
yes, and I can't. It's Zhang Ziyi who was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yes.
They're going to be in. They're joining J.J. Abrams' cast for a show called God Particle,
Wait. A show or a movie?
a movie.
Oh my God. You
Yes.
got excited.
No, it's not a show, but it's a
It's a
one
movie.
of those motion picture shows. So yeah, and it's supposed to be set in space where there's
Is
people
there a
and
kid
then-
with a heart and he's on?
no,
oh, that's-
the Earth disappears disappears through some experiment, and then they're out there in space going, "Oh, what do we do?" And it's like an international space station kind of
That's
thing.
awesome.
And then a space shuttle shows up, and they don't know whether it's going to be a friend or foe. They don't know what's up.
I am so down
Why
with
not?
this.
Yeah.
But imagine being cooped up with Chris O'Dowd in any kind of room forever. You'd want to kill yourself or him.
Not Martha.
Yes, you would. Trust me.
Not Martha.
Martha, if all you heard was IT for 10 days, you'd
Yes.
be ready to kill yourself.
Yes.
10 years.
Yes, but it looks good. I mean, it's J.J. Abrams, space, good people. It should be great.
Thanks. Yes. All right.
A lot of lens flare. It's going to be awesome.
It's no do-over, though, I'll tell you that. Speaking of Netflix,
Oh, we
I
were?
thought this was old news, but this week it was everywhere. It is official home to Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar films. I thought this was a deal they already had, but they said this week it was all finalized. Like,
Yeah.
you're not
I
getting it
didn't-
on
I didn't hear
other
this.
services. This is the service.
So wait, all the movies in Disney are going to be on Netflix?
Well, it doesn't mean they're all going to dump all at once. It means
Wasn't
that
like
because they always have kind of their own release schedule. But yes, if you're
So
going to see
Captain
if you're
America-
going to see a Star Wars movie on streaming, it's going to be on Netflix. If you're going to see any of the Marvel movies, it's going to be on Netflix.
So when's the mother nipple going to buy Netflix? Because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know that's what's coming.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Here's what I think is really interesting about this. This is why I thought this already happened. We predicted this. Geekstradamus predicted
I
this.
predict.
oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of what happened with those Marvel shows.
Right.
That was really successful for Netflix. It showed Disney a huge area of opportunity.
Uh-huh.
And we thought, okay, if they're doing these on Netflix, that means they're not doing their own streaming service. Because if they're doing their own streaming service, why would you set up camp with Marvel?
Right.
So, okay, it makes sense. But by doing this, by making this official, this opens up avenues. Enough said this week, we talked about all the possibilities of Marvel shows and what they could do. I actually think there's a lot that could be done in a big, bad way that we would not get tired of it. Where you could have a lot more than they're producing, because they're going to 3 shows a year. Well, they could do something. They could easily go to 4, make them 10-week runs, and they could start doing different streams of Marvel things.
Right.
On top of that, there are 2 Star Wars TV shows in development, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not animated, but
Right.
live action. Why would they even mess with like ABC? Put it right here. Do them as 10-episode runs or 12-episode runs.
Well,
And
because there's no advertising money in the Netflix.
and
That's the
everybody-
problem.
yeah, but they get that money up front. They can offset that money in super huge ways. It's the reason Daredevil is on Netflix and not ABC. Disney owns ABC.
Right.
Why didn't they put it there?
Well, because they can put Daredevil on ABC and get away with it.
Yeah, they could though. They could put it on later.
Not
later.
what it is. Not the way it is. There's no way.
Well, no. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been iffy, whether it was going to continue.
Right.
The quality of Daredevil is way up. They've put the money in the back end of Daredevil. Okay?
Yeah.
That didn't sound good. But they have.
Hey, he's a lawyer. Watch it.
That's right. But I'm telling you, this opens the door for some really interesting things.
Well,
that can be
it does,
done.
but it also it closes the door because I think when we were talking about all the stuff that they could do with streaming and all that stuff, this limits what they can put out to Netflix in streaming. What does it limit? What does it limit on other stuff? I mean, I thought
But where else are they going to stream?
But I brought out the ideas of maybe doing it on other platforms, maybe not streaming, but maybe like a Disney Channel, maybe like another channel.
Yeah, but those are channels. They can do that.
Yeah.
This is streaming, which means Hulu.
Right.
Any other service coming down the pipe, they've made a commitment here. And I'm sure it's like a 3 or a 5 year commitment.
Yeah.
But it's a way for them to build these other properties.
Which I think is better to have it on Netflix than, let's say, Hulu or Amazon Video.
Right. That's right.
Because
Amazon could have been the one they made the deal with.
Right.
That would not work the same way. This probably put a huge. It's going to give Netflix a lot to work with.
Oh, sure.
And for Disney,
well, come on, you get Star Wars, let alone whatever else you have on streaming. You're always looking for Star Wars.
Right.
If you can't stream that,
I think we need a T-shirt.
Awesome.
Always looking for Star Wars. Yeah.
If
But it's true.
If you're going to ask for what you would want to stream as a movie, it would have to be Star Wars or Star Trek. It would be one of those.
Yes.
And Netflix has a lot of Star Trek movies by itself.
But they
Yes,
don't.
it does.
They don't have First Contact, which is amazing to me.
They did.
They don't anymore.
Oh,
so I know.
what?
Trust me, we were looking the other day. So
That's weird.
it's probably like Hulu has it or Amazon Prime. So they sell the
weak.
rights to it. Well, that's the second. That's the best or second best.
Right.
I think Wrath of Khan's better, but First Contact's really good too.
Yes.
So
yes, absolutely. All right. So I just think there's a lot there. We always talk about where there's smoke. I think there's a lot of smoke around this of things that will be developed, and we're going to be talking about this a lot.
Oh, sure.
A lot.
I'm waiting. When are they going to break into one of the movie channels? Because they're going to have to, I think.
What do you mean? Start their own.
Disney will have to break into one of them, HBO or Showtime or.
Why? So why would they have to?
Why? Because.
Why? They've already got they've got multiple Disney channels.
I know they do,
and
but
for pay channels, I think this is them doing it. They're saying, you know what, the future is streaming rather than. It's why HBO now has HBO Go, because they understand people are going to start cutting the cable.
Well, they just
and now it goes to streaming.
Well, they did the same exact thing. They just make it available for purchase.
Right.
What everybody else does, but they have the catalog.
And maybe that's what the evolution will be. If they have exclusive deals, maybe they will start making it so you can buy them also like on iTunes, but you can only buy them through Netflix.
Right.
Yeah, I doubt they'll do that though. That seems like cutting off a huge percentage of what you can do. Keep it on iTunes, but don't give them the streaming rights.
Right.
Yeah.
And that way they can produce content. They produce a Star Wars show. Let's say they do one a year, a 10-episode run of a live-action Star Wars thing. We're all watching it, right?
Yeah.
We're all watching it. And then they put it on iTunes 3 months later as individual episodes, and they're going to make a ton of money off of that.
Sure.
They don't stream them there. You can purchase them there. So they're still getting their Netflix. Everyone's paying for Netflix to get it, and then they're buying it in the secondary market. Who needs advertising money from TV? You don't.
Yeah.
You got all the merchandising and everything. That's where the money is.
Yeah. It is. No, the money is there, but they they have some of that stuff. I just don't. At some point in time, there's only so many people that can sign up for Netflix and pay so much money. Well,
My parents just did.
Well, I'm just saying, but
they're new.
But here, I'm just saying, in the world, there's only so many people. So after that subscription, it's going to be a percentage of the game.
You're going to hit a tipping point.
They're going to need to be able to have people to pay for it, just like concerts, just like whatever. I mean, they're going to need sponsors.
I would be interested to see how that works with Netflix. If you watched how it goes, like subscribers versus like where it peaks and valleys and that, I'd be interested to see that. And I also wonder, like Netflix at one point was talking about adding advertising, not in show,
right?
But they could easily put something at the beginning, like a brought to you by or whatever,
right? But that's not worth as much as
I bet it would be.
But the value of
That's Super Bowl advertising money.
But the value of an internet click isn't nearly as much as a TV hit, like a Super Bowl. I mean, you're not paying
Super Bowl is one thing, but look at TV numbers.
Right.
Shows now that are like number one would have been scrapped immediately 10 years ago because the top rated shows now are a fraction of what they used to be.
Yeah.
So
it's because there's right now, let's say YouTube, people put out 10, 20-minute videos that get 10 million views.
Right. Well, see, YouTube has
to,
advertising and all that stuff on it.
Right.
People can make money. You know, Netflix is different, but you're right. It's a whole new world.
It's that compared to having on TV having one advertisement that only 1 million people watch.
Right.
But there's permanency and there's goodwill when you're associated with a TV show that's on CBS as opposed to using an internet people. PewDiePie. PewDiePie has 500 gazillion hits on all of his shows, and he still only made a couple of $1 million, which is great. But
he made serious money.
Well, but 2 million or 4 million, whatever, that's serious money. But that's just for him. That's not supporting what a show which costs 20 or 30 or 40 million dollars,
right?
Plus all that other stuff to do.
YouTube, although YouTube can generate.
Some YouTube shows, they do actually have departments of like editing and CG and stuff like that.
But it's not the budget of a TV show.
It's not the same budget, but
go to Apocalypse and see the credits and see the 50 trillion people that they paid a lot of money to make that show, to make that movie.
Right. But if you set up as a content producer, if I were to make it, if I were to set up shop, and I said, look, because we have multiple shows, right?
Right.
If we said, okay, we're upping the game, we're going to put a studio in, and we're going to produce X amount of shows, I would take a deal with like Netflix or someplace like that before taking a studio thing, because I would still have the independence, I would still have the freedom to do my thing. Yes, it may not generate that income, but it would generate pretty good income.
Sure.
And we would be producing at a high level for them. Whereas you're in TV, you got a lot of suits getting involved.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very different animal. There's a lot to be said here. I think Disney sees the writing on the wall as far as network. It's just like radio.
Right.
Radio is in trouble.
Well, yeah, because
it's still there, but it doesn't have the listenership, and they're not able to demand the money they used to, and it's going to get smaller.
But we basically do radio.
Right.
You put out. I mean, we're doing what they do instead of.
We basically do TV too.
Right. But I'm just saying that. I mean, that's how much or how little or how expensive it can be, which is a good thing. But it used to be the juggernaut. Well, it's like newspapers. Newspapers are dying because anybody can write a article,
write a blog now,
and do a blog or post a picture on the internet.
And you know what? As an individual, I take a blog, I write a blog. I put it out there. I tag it right. It starts getting a ton of hits.
Right.
Put a little advertising on it. Me as the blog writer can make way more than I ever could as a writer.
Exactly, but
from one post,
you can make more money. But what that article, when it was in the newspaper, it's a fraction of that money. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you benefit.
We're talking business differences, business models. I think Disney is seeing that there's another model. That's there.
Oh no, I agree. I think,
and I'm not disagreeing with you. I think that you're right. I think that there's a couple of ways to look at this, but I think that's what Disney is doing.
I'm just wondering, and
they still have their toe in ABC.
Right. The pie, the Netflix pie, can only be so big, and I'm wondering where it's going to happen.
Here's what's interesting: they own ABC. Look at CBS is doing their pay-per-view streaming.
Sure.
ABC didn't do that. Disney did not do that. They went Netflix.
Hold on, they are doing it. They're renting. They're not buying. They're renting it.
Well, they are. They're not setting up shop that way, but it gives them so much more to work with.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas CBS, it's like you can pay to watch all our CW and CBS shows, or I can wait until they're on another streaming service, or I just won't watch them anymore.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
Because
I want to watch Star Trek,
Netflix,
but I'm not watching it.
But this Disney stuff is not talking about absolutely brand new content, with the exception of those Marvels. Everything else is going to be.
But it will.
It could be, but you don't know where it's going to go.
It will. Trust me. Mark my words,
well, I know,
Chris Mao.
But I looked at that article as saying this is going to be where our catalog is at, which has huge value to Netflix, because when that's all there, that is a commodity, that it's a known asset. But I don't know about the new stuff. Like we talked about, they could put shows wherever they want. So it could be ABC, it could be Disney, it could be Disney FX,
they
whatever.
could produce like Star Wars Rebels. They could do the new season, put it on Netflix.
What's it on now? I don't even know what it's
on. Disney XD.
Right.
They get a bigger audience that way, and then they can put it on Disney XD. So all that audience that doesn't watch it here now gets it there, and they're double dipping without having to have the expense of starting their own streaming service, which, as you said, eventually they'll just buy.
Oh yeah, or they'll just use it and that'll be it. I mean, they'll figure that out. So
all right, let's move on.
Yes, sir. Let's move on.
John Carpenter is producing a new Halloween film for Blumhouse. I think this is interesting. So I forget who it was. Dimension had Halloween, and they did the 2 movies with Rob Zombie. They lost the rights to that. Blumhouse picked it up. And the owners of Blumhouse said, we're not doing anything with this property unless John Carpenter comes on board. John Carpenter this week came out and said he's the producer, or he's producing the new Halloween film. And he said the problem with those others, he said they got the characters wrong. He said they were good movies. I liked them, but they didn't.
The first one was pretty good.
Right, but his point is the character of Michael Myers is wrong. And he said the other problem is after Halloween 1, they weren't scary anymore. He said this one, he said, I intend on getting the character back to what he is and making it the scariest Halloween movie.
Yeah.
He's also talking about doing the score because that score is iconic.
Right.
So I think this is really good news.
John Williams did the score, didn't he?
No, John Carpenter did the score.
The original? Wow.
Yes, that's John good. Carpenter. In fact, he was just in town, and it was like $175 to go, so I didn't go, obviously. But he was here doing. He has you can buy it on vinyl. It's the Lost soundtracks or the Lost recordings.
Right.
John Carpenter's Lost Scores. John Carpenter's Lost Scores, and it's a bunch of work that he did. I guess that this album is really great if you're a film score buff. And he was here in Chicago doing it live.
Oh, wow.
But it was like $175 or something a ticket. I'm like, no, I'm not going. Instead, I interviewed Sandy King, his wife.
Yes.
Just as good.
Nothing wrong with that. She was great.
She was awesome. So, yeah, I you know what? I did like that first Halloween Rob Zombie one. The second one, I didn't make it through. I didn't hate it. It just, I don't know. I just kind of lost interest in it.
Well, the problem with that character, right? The Michael Myers. Hey, Mike Myers. The problem with that character is
yeah, baby. Yeah. That he's John?
Well, we've gone so far past the big, huge kind of his inhumanness is lost in all of the glitz that we have now. So anybody looks and would look at Wolverine or would look at somebody like that and be like, anybody could kick his butt because we all have that video game. But in 77 or whatever, when did that come out? 79?
He was the Shape. That
was that gross
of the
mutation
of those humanoid monsters, which would be like Jason and even Freddy. He was the scariest.
Well, sure.
For one film.
Oh yeah,
that film is great, and he is terrifying. After that, we've had a lot of ground between then and now.
Oh yeah.
But John Carpenter coming back to that well, and him saying, these aren't scary. I'm going to make a scary film, and I'm going to make him the Shape, because that was what he called him. He didn't call him.
Right.
I mean, Mike Myers is the name of the kid, but when he changes, he calls him the Shape. I think that's interesting.
The thing I remember about it being the most scary is he was just always there, and it was always just off. It wasn't like it was. He was physically imposing, but you would see him and he'd be around the corner and then he'd be gone, and you're like,
remember that scene in the beginning when they're walking out, she and her friends are walking down the street, and he just steps out from the bush.
Right.
And then
that's exactly what I was thinking about.
He goes back and she looks back and he's not there. I'm like, that is awful.
Right.
Edward's having a little nightmare in his eye right now. You haven't seen these, right?
Nope.
You're not seeing these. Halloween is a great film. Great film. So scary.
It is.
All right. What else do we have?
HBO's Westworld is going to be. They had some problems with script writing.
They announced
that it's going to come in the fall. So they said that they've got 2/3 of the season is done. They're going to get the other third completely done. The cast on this show is unbelievable.
It's the whole thing looks great. That teaser, remember that teaser they showed for Westworld? You watched, I think. Maybe not. A little puppet did.
Oh,
A
no.
little
It was
puppet
great,
did.
man.
But Anthony Hopkins is going to be in it. Some Ed Harris.
great.
I mean, you know,
Yep. All right.
I have
Yes.
the big news if you want to start with that, or do you have some?
I have two more, and then the big
Go
news.
ahead.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Rosa Salazar, who is the girl in Maze Runner,
yeah.
is up for the lead in Alita: Battle Angel. Alita: Battle Angel is a movie that we've never talked about, but it's been on my radar for a while. It's one that's been hanging around forever. It's supposed to be James Cameron's next original movie, but he's got 3 avatars. So he has now stepped back. He's going to produce, but he gave the reins to Robert Rodriguez. Did you know that?
I did not.
I did not know that.
That's awesome.
That's
because
awesome.
That's awesome.
And she's up for the lead. This Alita: Battle Angel is based on, I think it's a manga or an anime. It sounds just really cool. And she's like a half robotic, like a cyborg, and butt kicking, and it just sounds futuristic awesomeness.
Sounds like Legion, X-Men combined
Yeah, all
into
of
just
Yep. So I'm down with that.
Complete butt kicking. So
I don't want to do that one. Tom Hiddleston. There's a lot of rumors this week about James Bond.
yeah.
Tom Hiddleston supposedly is in talks to take over James Bond.
Yeah, so Sam Mendes says whoever's going to be confirmed because he's leaving.
Daniel Craig has made it official? They haven't made it official.
Well, no, but
But
he's
he took
signing
another
on.
gig.
He took on what's it called? Lucky
Lucky guy or something.
Lucky something. Yeah.
Which means
So-
his calendar's so full. He
Is
can't
that
do the
another
next
J.J.
Bond.
Abrams movie?
Right.
I think it is.
Is it?
So he's saying that the next James Bond's not going to be democracy, saying like we'll pick the most popular one. They're just going to pick whoever is going to they think the best or is whoever's cheapest, probably. For the next-
Cheapest?
not
No way.
cheapest, but they're going to choose who's
No
going to be
way.
next. They have not cheapest. They're going to have 3.
Well, because
They got to
guys.
pick the guy that's
Yeah.
right,
Right.
because Daniel Craig was right.
they've thrown a zillion names out there. So
Tom,
Gillian Anderson was in
Gillian
there.
Anderson, Idris
As
Elba,
James
of course,
Bond.
Damian
She-
Lewis.
Damian Lewis, Chiwetel Elijiofor, Tom Hardy.
I'd take any one of them.
Yes, okay. Make it with all of them.
Yes. Take them all. Yes. It's the James Bond family. Yeah, man. But Tom Hiddleston is supposedly in talks. I think he'd be good.
Yeah.
I think any of them would be awesome.
Right.
Don't go to the cheapest.
No.
That's when you're going to get like, I don't know,
Chris O'Dowd.
Weird Al. Weird Al is James Bond.
Rowan Atkinson. and
Rowan
Chris O'Dowd.
Atkinson is James Bond. Didn't we see that movie? Oh, it's terrible. All right, I said I had 2 more. What was the other one? The trailer for Independence Day. Did you guys watch it? The new one?
I think so.
I loved it. I haven't loved it up till now. I love this trailer.
Is that the one where
Where you see the president go into
the
the thing.
president? Yeah.
But in the past we saw that. This time they explained it a little more. Where he walked in and he's like, "Whatever they tell you, ignore me and listen to what I'm telling you when they have me." I was like, "That's pretty tough."
Yeah.
And it also seems like he's kind of fallen from grace,
Right.
which is cool.
Well, I'm sure he couldn't live with it. I think he just kind of cracked under the.
I liked it. It still looks. I mean, I don't think it's going to be,
It's not going to be as good as
Amazing,
the first
but-
one.
I'm in. I wasn't as in. I'm in now. And Jeff Goldblum, I could watch him all day.
Yes.
They're
But still,
should-
he's-
like, are we in trouble? Yes.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Check your cable.
I have my Apple.
And cigar. Where's Will Smith?
Oh,
Oh. That's your
like
best
that?
impression yet.
thank you.
A year and a half.
Thank you.
It's awesome. So
So, okay,
can we do
we got time for the big news.
before we go to the big news? There were 2 relatively famous people who passed away in the last week.
What?
Well, did we talk about Alan Young, the guy who played Wilbur in Mr. Ed?
No,
So
Alan
he-
Young died.
And he did some voiceover work. He was iconic in the
He was Wilbur on Mr. Ed, which you have no idea, but we used to watch that
Right.
in reruns, and my parents watched it when it was
that
on
was
originally.
Channel 9, Channel
Oh, yeah.
32 is
Speaking
his
of
kids.
WGN, yeah.
Black and white goodness. So
Yeah.
and then
Uh,
Bert Kwok.
But he was also the voice of Scrooge McDuck in all that Disney stuff. So, yes. So,
he had a fantastic, unique voice. He was really talented. Guy.
ironically, on the menu tonight is Duck here at the. No, never mind. Okay, go ahead.
And the guy who played
I got one laugh.
The guy who played Kato in the Pink Panther
Yes.
movies, Bert Kwok, is that how you say it, or Quack?
I don't know.
He passed away. That was not his original name, but he's actually born in England. He's English, but obviously of Chinese descent.
Right.
But he played Kato. He was.
I loved him in those
as
movies.
funny as a straight man in those movies as anybody. So
those movies, Peter Sellers is so funny.
Yes.
And Kato, unbelievable. That's what you waited for was when he'd come home and they'd start fighting. I told you, Kato. You fight me when I come in the door. Yes, boss.
Yes.
Oh, I loved it, man.
You never.
I've
they're
seen it. I
fantastic.
just don't remember it.
How could you not watch Pink Panther movies either?
I did.
Your
I've seen it.
dad is English.
I know.
I've seen them. I just don't remember them.
Unbelievable. I bet if he was here, he'd be yelling stuff out the whole time. He's like, I like the poop show.
The Minky. The Minky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Minky. Did your dog bite? That's not my dog.
The parrot, the blow up parrot. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's so great. All right. Marvel news.
So
Something happened?
First of two. You can do this one.
All right.
The animated Spider-Man film. Did you guys hear this?
Yeah.
Animated Spider-Man film. It sounds like it's going to focus on Miles Morales instead of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Okay.
Good choice.
I don't
because we're
mind.
not going to get a Miles Morales movie
No.
because they got to establish that universe, and it's a long time before we get to Miles Morales. That's a great book, though. If you haven't read the Miles Morales Spider-Man books, they're great. This is a great idea. So, go ahead.
So the new Captain America comic has Captain America as Hydra, which a lot of people are getting angry about because when Captain America
Why would they be
started,
angry?
the first two writers were Jewish, and they made Captain America to be pretty much opposite as Nazis.
Well, he was.
Right.
He was
Yeah.
World War II. He was the American hero that fought the Red Skull and Nazis.
Fighting the Nazis, yeah. And to make him
Hydra.
part of Hydra, and I like the backspin that came out after
Oh.
this, where Marvel was going, no, wait. Hydra's not a Nazi organization. They just adapted to it. But he was Hydra because of Hydra. And it was like, first of all, stop it.
Right.
Second of all, the fans need to stop it.
Yeah, it's
Because they're sending death threats to the writer.
Right.
You know what? It's a comic. Yes, we love these characters. It's a comic.
Yeah.
You don't threaten a guy's life over a comic.
And do we
character.
know if he's going to be a plant or not?
And do we know it's actually they're claiming that it is Steve Rogers? They're claiming nope. This is the clues are there from the beginning and all this.
Right.
You know what? I think it's all garbage. I think they'll just reboot it again after a year or so, just like they did with the Clone Saga, where they make Spider-Man a clone and Peter Parker wasn't really Spider-Man and all this like weird, and it killed it. Here's my issue with this. And I think that's a bad move, number one. But the casual fan, the one who doesn't read the comics, the people that go to the movies and they know Captain America, and they know Chris Evans, they're like, hey, they hear this, and now what will happen is you will have a certain amount that are disinterested in Captain America because they go, well, I'm watching these, but he's the bad guy. It's going to affect your brand. There's no reason to do that when you're riding high on the character. No reason to play a game like this.
But
It
this
happened
is
with
the,
Spider-Man too, though. When
Right.
they did the clone thing, the casual fan would say, yeah, I remember talking to somebody about it. It was
Right.
like, I'm not going to see the new movie. I was like, what? Spider-Man 2 looks awesome. Yeah, but I hear he's not really Spider-Man. They're going to change it
Yeah.
all. And I'm like, no, that's in the
Right.
comics. People have a hard time with that.
well, but that is a separation that the MCU has made with.
Yes.
They've
Yeah.
established that it's different than the comics. It's
But-
similar, but
but
it's
the thing
different, so
is-
then
But
they
it's
can
not
do whatever they
supposed
want.
to be that
Because-
different.
I know.
because if you see a headline, just a casual person sees that like Captain America is Hydra. When you go to the next, I don't know, Avengers, you're not going to be rooting for anyone there as Captain America because they would think that he's the bad guy.
Right. The public perception is going to be
Sure.
off from this.
He is
The
a
other
bad
thing
guy,
is-
so
The other thing is, yeah, Hail Hydra. Yeah, I'm a Gary Shandling fan. Hail Hydra. So,
Hail Hydra. Yeah.
these are the Nazis Gary's friends with. The Nazis Gary's friends with. Okay. So, I just think
Oh my! I can't get that out of my now. Sorry.
I think if this was like an Elseworlds type story, I know that's DC. Don't get down on me, comic fans. But if this was something like that, I could buy it. It's like Red Sun when they did that with Superman.
Right.
But this, to me, is the same issue that Batman v Superman has. You're taking a character who is all good, we had not just have an image of him, but you built this over
Right.
time and saying, you know what, we're going to reinvent him and make him crappy.
But
I think they probably think they want something new, and they're just running out.
No, I think
Hold
they
on.
have something up their sleeve.
but truly, is he all good? And I hate to split hairs with you, but even though he's doing things from the righteous position, is what he's doing good right now?
Depends on your perspective.
I think it's
Right.
a perspective thing. I
It is
don't think he's
perspective,
good.
but Hydra is not good.
No, I agree.
Hydra is not
No,
good
it's
at
evil.
all.
It's bad.
And him being part of Hydra means he's been deceptive to us as the fan, that they've been deceptive to us and everybody in his life.
Sure.
And they also said that in the comics, he's not coming out as Hydra. It's just to the other Hydra people that he did it. Everyone else,
Still thinks
he's going to
Cap.
have interactions in the Avengers, and they're just going to write it as if it's Captain America, but we're going to know he's Hydra the whole time. I hate that.
So
I hate that.
So do they just release that Captain America's Hydra, or
No,
So
it's
what-
in the comic. He captures a guy. They're on a thing. He looks over at the guy. He's captured, and the guy is terrified that, like, I've been captured. And Cap looks at him and goes, "Hail Hydra," because he's Hydra. And then Marvel came out and said, "Yes, this is something we've been building, we've been working on, and he is Hydra, but we're not going to have the people in his life know." And it's like, well, I think this is a big misstep.
Yeah.
I think it's a big misstep. I think that the other thing is they're going to back out of it at some point by making it a clone or making it an LMD.
Well, no, or making him
But you know what?
making him a double agent, or making him a
I
secret
think your
agent.
damage is done. You know? It would make more sense if you did it with Black Widow or you did it with,
Sure.
you know,
But it
even
wouldn't-
Iron Man.
But it wouldn't have any impact, and Iron Man wouldn't be like that because he is too.
He could.
But
He
no, I
could,
mean,
but I think
you-
Tony is too self.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's
He is.
too.
I mean,
I
he's
just think Captain America,
too
of all
narcissistic to do that.
characters,
You could do it with Hawkeye.
you could.
Yeah.
I think of all characters, yes, it's the one that's the most impactful, but I think it's a misstep. We'll find out. But please stop death threatening these guys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Who cares? It's a comic book
It's-
character.
he's-
We like to talk about it and have fun with it, but come on, man.
It broke
Yeah.
a little's heart. So
Yeah. Well, here's what
That's
I
why I
really
couldn't be
think
here
happened.
tonight.
I think because of how Disney got rid of those guys, the guy who's head, I can't think of his name. I'm drawing a blank. The guy who's head of Marvel Comics, this is him taking a shot at Disney because he's mad at that. I think those guys, that's what they're doing is they're saying, okay, just like this is the same guy who did that with the Fantastic Four, killing them off or like getting rid of them
Right.
because he doesn't want to deal with Fox. That's not Disney doing that. That's this head of Marvel Comics.
Right.
I think it's the same crap. It's the reason they won't release X-Men stuff because he said, oh, well, they're not going to let us have X-Men. Okay, we're going to ruin them in the comics.
Yeah.
Disney didn't say that. Marvel did. So here it is. Here it is. I think it's bad moves all the way around. I do.
does
Yeah.
Disney own the comics as well or not?
Yeah, Disney owns Marvel. But they separated the comics people from the MCU, and the MCU
Right.
is making gazillions of dollars.
Oh yeah.
And the head of Marvel Comics, he was one of them. He was part of that think tank, and they said, you're no longer in charge. And they made Feige in charge. This is having the repercussions. And I'm telling you, that's what we're seeing.
He may not be head longer. Much longer.
I don't think so.
Well, and
I think the fallout from this is going to be
well,
nasty.
it's nasty, but the
Yeah.
impact on terms of sales and things like that, it still didn't do very well out of comics. It was
Oh, no.
the thing that I saw that only was like 50th or 55th in the list of comics sold that week. So
And it's
like,
going to continue that way because people don't want to read Captain America, Agent of Hydra.
But it spiked a little
Yeah.
bit, but it didn't get like it's not
Right.
like it's
Cur-
much
a little
noticeably better.
curiosity, but it didn't
Right.
pop to number one.
No,
No.
oops, didn't work. So
So is that it? Did we cover
Yep,
everything?
I'm
I
good.
just
You guys
have
have
one
any
thing to
other
say:
thoughts?
Hodor. That's all.
Hodor. Oh,
No spoilers, but it was
No
you know
spoilers.
what? So I'm not going to say any spoilers about it, but I don't know how Game of Thrones does this, but like 2 or 3 times a season, they just rip your heart out and
Yep.
stomp on it, and they did it pretty much without any fanfare or anything. They just said, "Here, thank you. You can go on with your heart broken."
There was a viral video this week about whoever plays Hodor going around and just opening doors and acting as Hodor the whole time. You're saying Hodor the whole time.
The best there's some great memes out about
Yeah, there
stuff
are.
where, take it, but it's
Spoiler, I haven't watched it. But
I'm not
that's
going to
all
say
right.
it. No,
No,
I'm not
I
gonna
already
say-
know. I already know. We have two shows about Game of Thrones. So I hear everything.
Hodor's a big thing, so I
Yes.
didn't say anything about it. So
No pun intended. He's a big thing. So is that it?
boom, boom.
Yep.
All right. That's it for This Week in Geek. Thank you, Blue Box. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week.
Yay.
This is the